welcome to the hunt for Bigfoot. I'm Klug Uliger, your host. You know, many people do believe a giant, mysterious creature called Bigfoot roams the forests of North America. True to the show's title, our mission here is the hunt for Bigfoot. Our mission is not to hunt with a gun, however, but to hunt with a camera. Up until now, we've literally had to rely on stories, myths, legends, aside from the occasional unexplained footprints or the familiar grainy footage of what appears to be a Bigfoot crossing a stream. All we've had are rumors, but perhaps not for long. We've obtained some very remarkable exclusive footage. What many believe are the actual skeletal remains of a Bigfoot. And it isn't grainy, it isn't a shaky handheld camera. It's there for you to examine. You look at it and decide for yourself. You judge. But first, come with us to southern Arkansas, where the Bigfoot activity is so commonplace. Heck, they hold an annual Fouke Monster Festival there. Welcome to the natural world. A world filled with small wonders, where anything can happen. Our search leads us first to Fouke, Arkansas, where one weekend of every year is dedicated to the celebration of the monster, which has roamed that wilderness for, some say, over 100 years. In this part of the country, things move at a much more manageable pace. The community is centered around the people, especially the children. Time is dedicated to thriving off the land and craftsmanship, not fast food and mass production. Some might consider this lifestyle to be primitive and out of touch with the mainstream, but that is the way most of the people in Fouke would like to stay. And if you were to say that the people of Fouke don't know how to have a good time, well, they might have to let you know that, well, that's a lot of bull.
We didn't know it at the time, but evidently we chose the same area that this creature had chose for his domain also.
This is the Arklatex Wilderness, a world full of natural mysteries.
You know, there's psychic impressions. When I have thought about these creatures, I see them living in a cave, almost in a Cro-Magnon man kind of situation. I feel like that they are somewhere intellectually between man and animal.
The Bigfoot phenomenon is nothing new. It's been around for centuries, millennia perhaps. It seems that Bigfoot captures the imagination of humans worldwide.
Worldwide indeed. Whether it is called a Bigfoot, a Yeti, or Sasquatch, the fact remains that sightings have occurred in so many cultures that it would lead one to ponder the existence of some unidentifiable creatures.
You've got it in some sort of plastic container?
Yes.
And it's still rotting away. I mean, it's still... Huh.
Just the length of the legs. Look at the length of the feet and the heels, portion of the heel there. I don't know of any animal in 32 years that I've skinned that had a heel like that on it. It was that protruding. And the length of the joints between the legs. If the animal's 8 foot long.
We didn't know it at the time, but evidently we chose the same area that this creature had chose for his domain also. My son saw it in broad open daylight and shot at it 3 times and caused a big disturbance. The news meter come down on us like gangbusters, and we found ourselves. We felt like we'd rather take our chances with the monster than with the news media, so we tried to keep them out as long as we could. But it finally got so widespread that it got out of hand, and along about then when the movie makers came in.
Well, the only time that I know of is these here two black guys was coming in from Shreveport, and they came in the store here. It's about 3 o'clock in the morning, and they were just shaking as white as a ghost, and they felt sure they seen the felt monster. But I don't know, you know, if it was him or not. And then there were some hunters that I heard that seen him in the swamplands, but I didn't hear too much of that story. And that's about it.
How long ago were both of these incidents?
Probably about 3 years ago, 3 or 4, I don't know exactly which one.
So you tell me personally, do you believe there's a creature?
I think there might be something out there. Really, truly, I think there is. And it's just hard to say. Okay?
In my restaurant, I used to have truck drivers that drive 200 miles out of their way to buy a souvenir for their children that come from Fout, the home of the Boggy Creek Monster.
And I asked him what was wrong. He said, nothing. And I said, Keith, what's the matter? What is it? He said, there's something funny looking in the window. And I looked over there, and sure enough, there was like green glowing eyes, a big old hairy face, and the doorknob was...
What we're watching is a series of interviews I taped of my family discussing an incident that occurred about 20 years ago near Lake Greason on a mountain near Glenwood, Arkansas. We were in a trailer alone, myself, my 2 brothers, my mother, and my grandmother, and something tried to get in the trailer. There was something looking in the window with reflective, glowing eyes.
What is it, Keith? Nothing. What is it, sweetie? Mom, I think there's something looking at me through the window.
Oh, I think that's just your imagination, but let me check and see, right?
My mother got us into the kitchen. We hid under the kitchen table, and then it began to walk around the trailer. We heard heavy breathing. It was pounding on the trailer. Eventually, it did go away. However, when my father and my grandfather finally came home, the next day we found large tracks outside we couldn't identify. There were dents and scratches in the back of the trailer, and a nearby building had been vandalized as well. And in the porch, there were 2 large holes where something had stomped down through the porch itself. I don't know what it was. To this day, I wonder.
I ain't never seen the creature. I'd like to meet him. And I've lived in this part of the country for 67 years. And I slept in the woods all around, and I ain't never seen him, but I'd like to meet him.
You know anybody who has seen him?
Well, I know some people that says they've seen him, and, you know, they made a movie of him one time.
Here's how Hollywood has treated the Bigfoot phenomenon, as in these scenes from the 1975 cult classic, The Creature from Black Lake.
Hey, Joe, look at this. Something's gonna steal my game.
You mean someone steals my traps, Joe?
Yeah. Damn.
A theory that many anthropologists have considered is that this creature could possibly be a mutated bear or a gorilla. Some scientists absolutely scoff at the idea of a Sasquatch, a Bigfoot, a Yeti, a skunk ape, or whatever you want to call him. Science has been proven wrong on many occasions with regard to evolution in the animal kingdom. For instance,
Hey, Joe, look at this one. This one is trapped.
Hey, Joe, let's get out of here.
There is one good note, though. There's never been a report or an incident of this creature ever attacking or harming a human being.
Get something. Yeah, what do you reckon it is? All right, I'll check it out. Joe? Joe!
We've done research, you've done research. We know it's in southern Arkansas or northern Louisiana. And we're willing to do it. We got the summer free. The only thing we lack are two things. That's money and wheels.
You don't really want to go down there, do you?
Man, I want to prove its existence.
Prove its existence.
Well, I ain't gonna say they ain't, and I ain't gonna say they are. But I just, like I say, I'd just like to meet him. If he's out there, I want to meet him. Shake his hand. There are a lot of people that do believe it's something out there in the woods, and people said they have been scared away from being in the woods. Myself, I have mixed feelings about it. I know there's things out in the woods and places that can't be explained, but to say this is some kind of creature, I would be going a little out on a limb, I think, to say that there's a thing called a monster or something we could dub a falk monster out there.
Okay, I don't think it's real. I just think it's like me on a bad hair day, because it's like not real. There's a little boggy creek monster, a man with a whole bunch of hair running through a swamp. It's not real. It's me. It's what I look like in the morning.
The Bigfoot phenomenon is nothing new. It's been around for centuries, millennia perhaps. It seems that Bigfoot captures the imagination of humans worldwide for two reasons. One, Bigfoot seems to remind us of the beast that dwells within all of us, that part that we don't want to accept or even want to recognize, the part that's the outcast, the wild man, the unabandoned spirit in all of humankind. It's often that part which we try to repress, and it's often the part that refuses to be repressed. And so Bigfoot reminds us of the monster that dwells within, the one we'd like to cast into the shadows, but the one that keeps creeping back into our communities.
They want to go monster hunting. And I told them, yeah, they could camp out there. A couple of days later, I went out to check on them, and the tent